Hello guys, Aaron from housevaha.com, and today we got a special video about our nomadic life, some money saving tips, and something we can all relate to that we have to deal with in this modern times, cell phone. So like you guys, Melody and I have for as long as I can remember, the last decade plus, have had a cell phone bill. And that has varied depending on what kind of service we have with it, extra add-ons. We've had Sprint for the longest time. And our experience of Sprint has been no bueno. There was whole sections of traveling through the country, particularly the Pacific Northwest, Idaho, going through the Dakotas, Montana. You get the area. Like, it's a big swath section of America. We had no service. Like, no bars, no data. We had to rely on Wi-Fi. So this has been a big problem for us. And we've been trying to find a way to resolve this issue at the same time, to save as much frugal money as we possibly can, because we got you Patreons out there helping to get our journey, make this book, and we want to use that money as appropriately as possible. We want to make our life as small as possible, and this is where we've done it. So let me get into it. We're talking about, it's called Project Fi. If you've never heard of this before, it is a Google-based phone service that's come out in the last year or so. This is how it works. So it doesn't have a contract service. You're not signing up like those say like Verizon or Sprint or the other places where you have to sign up for a certain period of time, and there's all these regulations and things there. The way Project Fi works is that they basically have access to the other networks through Sprint, T-Mobile, and US Cellular, in addition to looking for Wi-Fi service. Now, the way this happens on your phone is if you have Project Fi, your service will transition between Wi-Fi and those three carriers seamlessly to have interrupted service as you're going. This works for us because basically we had Sprint and that was it. So this is not going to be any worse than we had. If anything, it's going to give us more options and availability. So that's the basic nutshell of sort of how that ends up working. Let's talk about the dollar amount, because that's one of the biggest things that we enjoy about this is the amount of money that we're saving. So with Sprint, for 2 lines, Melody and I, we both had our own separate phone numbers, cost us $180 per month. Now, that's not uncommon. That's relatively average of phone bills. Now, when I point the fact that we live a very small life, we try to take as much of our money that we make through our t-shirt sales or artwork through our patrons who help support us to make this book happen, this journey. We don't like wasting money, particularly on cell phone service that is non-existent, that data is non-existent. I don't care what the Sprint commercial says, that it's a 1% difference in reliability, which means that's how far your phone's calls get dropped, not whether you're going to have actual service in America or not. So switching over to this service and saving money was a big deal on us from the $180 we were spending on our cell phones before. If you want to get Project Fi set up for yourself, it costs, I'm going to get this right, it costs $20 per line. For the first line, and then it is $10 per 1 gigabyte of data. Now, Melody and I, our data gigabyte usage varies. We try to use Wi-Fi as much as possible, but it's pretty low. That may vary, but between individuals when too much your data usage is. But it's only $10, and and it's yours. So you buy that 1 gig of data. So if you don't use the whole gig in that month, and the next month, like you've got left over, you get to keep that in addition to whatever you've set up through your payments of them to have whatever renew every month. So you don't lose it if you don't use it, it carries over, it adds up. And any time you're using the Wi-Fi service, you're not using data. That's the sweet part about this, because Melody and I, based on Sprint's crappy coverage, have had to learn to use Wi-Fi in creative ways in order to get cell phone service, in order to upload videos, in order to do the life we need to do, having an online company at the same time, camping really simply across America. So we're used to having to deal with how can we make Wi-Fi work to our advantage as we go across the country. And then the other part that cost you per month is sorry, I'm tripping my words here, is the insurance, the cell phone coverage. So in case your phone gets damaged, it gets broken, anything like that.
It's optional.
It's optional, $5 a month. So between the $20 for your phone service, the $10 for the gig, $5 for basically insurance on your phone, it's $35 a month. That's it. It's no contract. If you want to shut your service off for a period of time, I think up to 3 months, you can shut your service off, and they're not going to penalize you for doing that. If you need more gigs, like right now we're set up in 1 gig per month. We feel like if we're between that and our Wi-Fi's, we can make that work. If we go over that, a lot of other contract services like Sprint and the other ones, like if you end up using them, they're like, well, you can get another gig, but we're going to penalize you, or it's going to cost you more. Project Fi is like, no, you need a gig? Okay, cool, here you go, $10, thanks. It's real simple. And once you buy it, again, maybe at the end of the month I need a little extra gigs, for whatever I'm doing. I pay for it, and the next month it just carries over. So it's not, there's no loss in it. You're not being penalized. It's very, very, very stress-free. So $35 for the whole service. Now, we're kind of at a pro and con stage, right? So you're seeing there's a lot of pluses to this. So this is not a con, but it is something that is limited in this we want to make you aware of. Only 3 phones they currently have available you can use Project Fi with. There's the Pixel, which is what we ended up getting, which we'll have in a whole other video talking about that, our experience living with it. We really enjoy it. It's got the Google Assistant that works we've had some fun with. It's got an excellent camera, super fast recharge time. So a lot of things we need for our nomadic life, having the camera, the recharge, these are big pluses. We needed a phone anyway, so we didn't mind having to buy one. So the other one is the Nexus, right, Melody? And the third one is just
another Nexus.
It's another Nexus, just a difference on, I think, and those are like a $250. The one we got, the Pixel, was $650. So, and basically it's because of all the extra perks of the camera and things like that we wanted on it. So, now that seems like a chunk of money to have to spend up front. Now, here's where the math comes in on this and where this is all very beautiful when we realize how this all just lined up. So the phone is going to cost us, it was like $650. But our cell phone service through Sprint was $180. That's $180 that Sprint's going to take every single month for 2 phone lines that I'm just going to give to them for mediocre service. Now, I could take that money I would have spent. I had we had enough to pay for the phone. Over the course of a few months, this phone's going to end up paying for itself, the amount of money I'm going to end up saving. Because opposed to $180, it's only costing me $35, so I'm saving like $150 a month. That translates over a year, we're talking like $1,200. So the investment of a $650 phone that I had to pay now is going to save me twice that over the course of the next year and the year after that. Now, for Melody and I, if our travels and what we do, the idea of we could take this massive, wasteful, crappy expense that we had and reduce it down to that small was amazing. So far, I've been incredibly happy with the service. We drove from Northern California down to Bakersfield just the other day, and we had service whenever we needed it. There was at no point that as we're traveling down the 5 did we not find a point where it didn't either pick up one of the networks that I mentioned about or finding a Wi-Fi service when we had Wi-Fi near us. Complete uninterrupted, I'm very, very happy with it. So another money-saving tip on this, if you want to add, say you got like Melody and I are just the 2 of us. She ported her number. We had 2 numbers. So what's called porting number, we got our account set up with Google Voice. If you've never used that before, essentially you can set your current phone number that you own with whatever cell phone carrier you have. And so any phone calls you get, any text message you get, all voicemails, things like that, will all go to your Google Voice that you can then set up in any of your phones, not just the one we bought that recording this video right now on our Google Pixel that you're seeing, but any of the phones we have would work where she can get her voicemail through that Google Voice. So essentially, by porting her number over and already having my number in this phone, we have 2 phone numbers for 2 people on 1 phone. I should mention this is because we're a very confident couple. We live in a car. we live very intimately and close together as we travel in the country. There is not a trust issue for us at all having to share a phone, but it did dawn on us for some couples or some people are like, I don't really need everybody knowing we're married, but that's my phone. So for us, this works. It's an easy money saver. We only have to get 1 line, but that's a little tip right there. If you've got a bigger family and you're like, well, I do want multiple lines, you can get a group plan through Project Fi where you can have up to, I think it's 5, for $15.
It's not just lines, though. It's like your friends and family, not like, oh, I want one for my son
Oh
and
no,
daughter.
yeah, it's your friends or family, anybody group. So any people you know, like, hey, let's go on this. Can I jump on this plan with you and get my phone number set on? Together. It costs them $15. They have to have the preset requirements. You have to have one of those three phones. So you need the things. They'll have their own account set up and things. They're port their number over, but it's a nice way for people to group together and save a substantial amount of money.
And you get to set your own data limits for all the lines and stuff, so nobody's stepping on their
Everyone's
toes.
data, everyone's gigabyte is theirs. So their service on your group is not going to affect someone else's. They can set, as she said, and you can establish your limit. So if you want to, Melody and I set for 1 gig per month. If your need is like say 3 gigs per month, you're like, okay, well I need more data than that. I don't have as much Wi-Fi, whatever the reason is. That means your phone service is only going to cost you, say, 30 with 3 gigs. That's only going to cost you like $55 a month. Now, if that satisfies you and you can get the phone to meet the requirements, if that's less than your current cell phone bill, I would highly recommend this service to you because it's something that worked for us. And I would really encourage other people who are trying to save some money and are kind of just fed up with cell phone network companies and things like that. Because I'm kind of I got rid of my bank. I got a credit union. I got rid of my cell phone service. I'm going down to a small, this Project Fi. These things have been not only helpful in money saving, but I feel like I've got less of a big company presence in my life.
Google's fairly large.
Well,
though.
I can't get over Google. I've accepted the fact that Google owns Earth. Like,
I
I mean, the
can't
whole
quit
Earth.
you.
That Google Earth is not a map thing. That's a contract we all signed and handed over to them. Anyway, if you want to do this, in the description section down here below, we have included a link. So if you want to sign up, you can get $20. A $20 base referral fee, a $20 referral that you can get as a credit towards your account, and then in turn they would give us $20 for referring you to Project Fi and the service. So if you please use the link down here and click it. Did I say that correct, Melody?
You just said it in the longest way possible.
I did. I'm sorry,
true.
but that's yeah.
If you want a $20 credit after your first month, use our link, and we both get a $20 credit after your first month.
If you'd like $20, use this link. We like $20 too. Everybody wins, so you get the point on that. Also, down here in the description, we should have all the appropriate links for. Hopefully, you should have a link down there for the Pixel phone through Amazon. You can check out, and since you're here and we've done all this, make sure you give us a like, give us a comment. Tell us maybe if you've used their service also. Leave a comment here for somebody else who's researching switching, because I think it's people are going to find this video when they're researching this service. Leave a comment about your experience. If you're not making a video about it or something like that, leave a comment to tell other people, here's what I thought of Project Fi, here's my experience of this. So this sort of becomes a little well where people can come in and drop their thoughts on that. Give it a share too. If you know somebody who might be interested in this service, please share the video with them. If you're interested in supporting amazing artists and independent, creative-minded thinking people, then please go to House of Haha on Patreon. We're writing a book. You can get monthly rewards as a thank you to you, including monthly gifts that you get in the mail, including original artwork that Melody and I are making, handmade artwork that we'll send you on a monthly basis at the $10 level or higher. If you want us to donate $1, we got $1 per month that you donate, because Patreon is a monthly donation as far as like a crowdsourcing service, not Kickstarter. It's like a one-time thing, but you become a patron every month. So even at $1, we've got something we're going to give you, an annual gift. We'll give you a magnetic postcard from us, plus access to our journey, special uploaded videos, and help us make this book called House of Awe Into the Wild a reality. That telling the story about our life and our experiences, and sharing that in nature with the rest of the world. So I'm going to get running now. Things share. Melody, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Just check the description for all the links and everything.
Enough said. Go to househaha.com. I'm Aaron. That's Melody. Have a reasonable day.